Hi friends, it's Valerie. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to this week's What's for Dinner. If you are new here, I would love if you would hit that subscribe button and join my YouTube family. And don't forget to leave a like or a comment down below because it really does help my channel. This week's What's for Dinner, I've got some new meals for you, and my favorite of the week is the beef bulgogi bowls. A little bit of work is put into this, but definitely worth it with all the flavor that it gives. Anyways, let's just get started. I started my week with some takeout. I got El Pollo Loco. I just got the avocado burrito and avocado chicken taco. Both of those are my favorites, typically what I get. But I've just been trying to get back my Sundays. Sunday has always been my favorite day, and I like to do absolutely nothing on that day unless it's something I personally choose to do. I like it to be a full day of just like relaxation. So I'm trying to take that back, and that includes trying not to cook on Sundays. So yeah, quick, easy option for food, and we really enjoyed it. I put chili dogs back on my meal plan for this week because I wanted to satisfy that craving and had to move it off of last week's meal plan. But I just use these Signature Select jumbo beef hot dogs. They are a large hot dog, like the size of like Sam's Club or Costco. And I'm using this hot dog chili sauce that is from Walmart. It's just their brand of that. And the Signature Select brand is from Vons, Albertsons, Safeway, those parent company stores. And I just put some chopped onions and some shredded cheddar cheese on top. I didn't even bother melting it, y'all. I didn't want to take the extra step, but you could definitely do that. And then I served some air fried tater tots on the side. And this was quick, easy, and tasty, and it satisfied my chili dog craving. I saw this side dish made over on TikTok and I was like, I just have to make it. So to a large skillet, I've added a little bit of olive oil, and I have cut off the corn from a cob of corn. I just cut it off the fresh cob, put it in the skillet. We're going to let that brown up. My camera died, so I didn't get that all for you doing that, but you're just literally going to put it in there until it gets a little bit of color. And then I cooked up 1 cup of dried orzo pasta, and once it was cooked in salted water, I drained it and I'm adding it to this skillet with the corn. And I'm also adding 1/4 cup of the reserved pasta water from the orzo to that. And then I have this Borzen cooking cream. I've never used this before. The recipe that I saw called for regular just Borzen gourmet cheese, 3 tablespoons of that. But I saw this cooking cream and I wanted to give it a try. It's still the garlic and herb flavor, and I'm putting that in there. I did use the 3 tablespoons, but later on I did add some more because I felt like it could use a little bit extra so just measure with whatever you would like on that. And I just stir this all together to get all those ingredients well incorporated, get that cheese nice and melty and making like a nice cream sauce on that. It's going to be very light though. The recipe I saw didn't put any Parmesan cheese, but I thought Parmesan on this would be great, but I didn't overdo it. I just put a little bit in there, and I'm stirring that together to let the cheese melt up. I don't want a heavy hand on that for sure because this is a very light tasting pasta, so I don't want to make it too heavy. And then I chopped up some fresh basil, about 5 large leaves or so, and mixed that in. Now I next time will definitely add some more basil, as well as if your corn cobs are on the small side, you might want to do 2. I think next time I'm going to do 2 corn cobs and some extra basil because I liked those ingredients a lot. I grilled up some chicken breast to go with this. I just season it with the Kinder's The Blend and Kinder's Garlic and Herb, and I like to spray it with a little bit of olive oil before sticking it in the Ninja Foodie grill for about 10 minutes on high grill function. And I also air fried some asparagus to go with this, and this whole meal went together so great. I cannot rave enough about how much I absolutely loved this side dish. It was an amazing summer side pasta. The corn and the basil make it so light and fresh. I loved this. I'm gonna stop going on about it, but it was really great. Light flavor, very creamy, and just super delicious. Problem is, I'm probably gonna want to make it like all the time now, and that means I'm gonna be eating pasta all the time now, but it seems very worth it at the moment because of how good it is. On this night, we had one of my favorite throw together Instant Pot meals, which is this cheesy ground beef and rice. I have made it in the past, and it wasn't too long ago that I made it on my channel here, so I will leave a link in the description box to that video that I made so that I'm not doing too much on repeat when it comes to showing the directions on that. But I will note that this time I did increase my time on the cooking by a few minutes. I think I liked that better for the texture of the rice for my liking. So I did do 10 minutes on high pressure and then a quick release after. And this is really good. I really like this a lot. For this, I'm starting off with about 2 pounds of top sirloin steak. I did stick that in the freezer for about 15-20 minutes to start to make it firm up a bit. That's going to make it easier to slice up thin because we want to cut this into 1/8 inch thickness. That's going to be a good thickness for this meat. And I'm just showing you here, like me slicing it a little, but I'm not going to show the entire process, but you'll want 2 pounds of that or so. And I'm just setting that aside while I work on the marinade. So to a large bowl, I'm adding in a half a cup of light packed brown sugar, as well as a half a cup of soy sauce, and then this gochujang chili pepper paste. I've never used it before, but that's what we're going to be using, and it is 2 tablespoons of that. I did try to measure that because I have never had this before. I wasn't sure how spicy it was. I actually should have just taste tested it like right there on the spoon, but I was trying to stick to measurements when it comes to chilies because we're not the biggest fan of too hot, so I don't ever want to like fully overdo it. And then also adding in sesame oil, about a tablespoon's worth of that, and some garlic, 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, 2 tablespoons of minced ginger, and I'm just using the squeeze kind because I didn't have any fresh, but I always like to keep these on hand. They make cooking so much easier when you're in a rush especially. And I had diced up some or cut up some shallots, and they're going to be really thin cut, and it's about a 1/4 cup's worth. I was stirring that together when I realized I forgot the rice vinegar, and it's a 1/4 cup of that added in, and then just stir that all together. Break up that brown sugar, make sure that it's dissolved, and then add your cut up steak in there and give it all a good toss. You want to make sure to get that all nice and coated, breaking up those pieces of the steak so that they can all have that sauce on it. And we are marinating this for 2 hours. It says you can do it longer, overnight's fine, but 2 hours is what I did. And then I'm just covering that with some saran wrap. I tend to use lids or reusable things, but I just got this little organizer here and I wanted to try out that little feature of like cutting the plastic wrap, so I was using that this time to get a feel for that. Now I'm adding in 2 tablespoons of my oil of choice, which is avocado oil, to a large skillet over high heat, and I'm going to add the meat in. I'm just doing this in batches so not to like fully overcrowd the meat, giving it all a nice chance to touch the pan and get a sear and just like caramelize up. So I'm tossing that all together, gonna kind of do that. There was no direction as far as time wise of how long this should cook, but I did kind of look up some ideas on that, and they kind of said when the sauce was thickening or caramelizing, that was your sign that it was done. So that batch was done, and then I just removed it to a plate and just continued to do the rest of the meat in batches. And then the last of the marinade, I even caramelized that up a bit or thickened it so that it could be a sauce for us. And while that's cooking, I wanted to make some bok choy, and I found a recipe, and I was going to make the sauce right in the pan because I thought one less dish, but I started with the water in it, and my pan was just too hot. It was dissipating, so I did pull a bowl out to mix that together first. So in the bowl, I've added 1 tablespoon of brown sugar with 3 tablespoons of soy sauce and 3 tablespoons of water, as well as 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar and 1 tablespoon, I used avocado oil, but you can use your oil of choice, and then some garlic. It was whatever I had left, but the recipe did call for 1.5 tablespoons of that, and just whisk that together. I added that to the pan, and then I had cleaned up my bok choy already, so I cut off the ends and rinsed it off and dried it the best that I could, and I'm just pushing that down into the pan, into the sauce a little bit. I'm going to cover that with a lid and let that cook for about 2 minutes. Then I'm going to uncover the wok, or mine's just a large skillet, but if you have a wok, that's amazing. And then increase the heat to high heat and just continue cooking until they're tender and the sauce starts to thicken. And they served like ribboned cucumber with it, and I wanted to do that as well. So I have an English cucumber, and I'm just taking my vegetable peeler and just kind of pressing down, and it'll, if you just run it along the side of the cucumber, it will make those nice thin sized ribbons. I'm not going to do the whole one on camera for you, but you get the idea there. I served the beef bulgogi over some jasmine rice. I put sesame seeds and green onions on top. I have those cucumber ribbons and the bok choy, and then I did some kimchi with that as well. And oh man, this was so amazing. The only thing I did forget was the fried egg. It called for putting a fried egg on it in the recipe, and I just completely forgot, but I bet that would have made it incredible. Next time I make this, I'm definitely doing that because this whole meal just felt like restaurant quality. We loved it so much. On this night, I wanted to go to Universal Studios because they were going to have this light show at the Hogwarts Castle, and it's like the last few days you could see it, so I wanted to go see that, and it was beautiful and gorgeous, and I captured this really beautiful photo. But afterwards, we went to the Embassy Sports Grill and Brew. We had never been there before, but I was really craving nachos, so I got these nachos they had, and then my boyfriend got some buffalo wings, which actually look like buffalo tenders because they are so large. And then he got some guacamole and it had like elote on top. That was okay, but I really enjoyed the nachos the most. For this last meal, I'm finally getting around to trying this TikTok pasta. So to the bottom of my slow cooker, I'm spraying a little bit of cooking oil. Then I'm adding in 2 pounds of chicken breasts. Mine are frozen. Two of them are stuck together. Not what I intended to have happen, but it is what it is. It'll be fine. I'm gonna cover it with this Buffalo Wild Wings garlic Parmesan wing sauce. Just gonna pour that whole bottle on top of all of the chicken. And then I'm taking 1 cup of milk and adding it to that bottle. Gonna give it a good shake to get out the remaining sauce, and then just pour that all on top as well. Next, I've cubed up an 8-ounce block of cream cheese, and I'm just kind of strategically placing those on the top of the chicken. I believe in the original recipe they kind of stirred the other ingredients together a little bit, but my chicken's frozen, so it's not really going to stir it very well, so I'm not going to bother with that. I'm just going to place the cream cheese on top of it. And then I'm topping that with about 4 ounces of grated, or this is, I believe, shredded, something like that, Parmesan cheese. And I'm just placing that on top. Gonna put the lid on top of that and cook this. I'm doing high for 4 hours, but you could do low for about 8 hours as well. And this is what it's going to look like when it is done. I am going to remove all of the chicken breasts from the slow cooker here. You can leave them in and use like the hand mixer if that's the method you prefer. I know that my insert to my slow cooker is stainless steel, but I just don't want all those little scratchy marks all over it. So honestly, I'm just pulling it out, and I'm going to just like kind of whisk those other ingredients together lightly and kind of press on those little cream cheese blobs to break them up. This is still on warm, so that's going to continue to be melding together while I shredded all that chicken up with 2 forks. And then once I've shredded it up, I'm just adding it in, and I'm kind of just missed a few pieces there, so I'm breaking them up with my hand, and I'm just going to put them all in there and then just give it all a good stir to combine all the ingredients. Now if you need any, if it's like too thick for you, you could add a little bit extra milk, maybe like a 1/4 cup or so, just whatever you need. You can even use heavy cream if you want to keep it a little bit thicker than milk, depending. I use whole milk, so it's not so bad, but if you ever really like light milk, you might want to add some heavy cream to that. Now at this point it calls for pasta, 1 pound's worth of pasta. I am not adding it into my mixture here, and the only reason for that is this is a lot for us. This is going to make a lot for the 2 of us, and I figure I'm actually going to just scoop the chicken cream cheese mixture all on top of my pasta and just like mix it together on my own little bowl, because I can split this mixture and freeze up half of that mixture, and this will make another very quick meal for me when I need it in the future. I can just boil pasta up and then rewarm that sauce mixture and mix it together, and that will be quick and easy for me in the future. But I really did end up enjoying this pasta a lot. I wasn't sure if I'd like it with that sauce. I felt like it could be overbearing, but it was actually really good. And I served some broccoli on the side with just like butter and salt and pepper, and that complemented this amazingly. Like I liked a bite of pasta with like a bite of the broccoli, and in the future I could even just mix it together because those two combined together were really, really yummy. Thanks so much for watching, friends. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that little bell so you don't miss out on any future videos, and I hope you all are having a great day.